Here we are, for another rock and roll edition. Already on the march, it's been a few hours. Gotta put my gloves back. Thank you, my anonymous friend, for the gloves for this -11. It is perfect. Look at that beautiful lights from Hawk Island, Montreal, aka Hawk Island. We are on the mountain, Westmount. On the peak, sometimes I show you the mountain from afar off, like in yesterday's and the day before's video, where I'm miles and miles and miles and kilometers away, sometimes more than 44 from here, and I point with the finger from southwest from here, and you can see how far we are atop a mountain going to the other peak, Mount Royal. This is Westmount, one of the peaks of the mountain system known as Mount Royal, my second home going to the Mount Royal. This is part of Mount Royal, but this is called the Westmount. It's like three-peak mountain system, 3 peaks of the same mountain system range. I would want to define it, you know. And then the other days in the week we were over there somewhere, and I pointed towards the mountain from miles and kilometers away. So grateful, thankful, my rent's paid, electricity bills paid, got food and coffee. It is January the 24th. First week of yours truly, Trump being president again. A special Dragon versus Trump pre-Sabbath edition. Have been Em and will challenge Donald Trump to a boxing match on the Canadian-US border. This financially stressed, financially struggling but rich. In kisses, got those kisses by the trillions and some rock and roll marching steps. Aspie artist, athlete, philosopher, geopolitical theoretical analyst, and tears has predicted the international conflagration going to the mountain. On the steps, auctioning everything that I'm wearing, including the red scarves, double red scarf today for double trouble. Carrying in the backpack, got that big backpack, big red backpack. The big red, my favorite color, backpack, auctioning it. The backpack for $1 million, auctioning the shoes for $1 million, the underwear for $1 million, the jeans for $1 million, everything that I'm wearing for $1 million, to give 50% half to my anonymous friend who wasn't my friend because of the money, who got me this nice blue jacket, a nice jacket, gray jacket with a little bit of a nice emblem on it. So second hand, but great choice. LOV, the best I ever had. And you know, I have that retrograde amnesia, memory loss, and blackouts. I remember mostly the past 7, 8, 9 years, and moving and being depressed, suicidal, crossing Canada, coast to coast. That event changing my whole life. Got out of being depressed and suicidal. That event made me establish in a strong esprit de corps with my fellow Canadians, and I've been on the journey ever since. Survived COVID. COVID for me was like death, pestilence, and disease. Death, pestilence, and disease. Death, pestilence, and disease. I know it sounds like a hardcore rock and roll death metal song. I know it sounds like a rock and roll death metal song, like a trash metal album name. Yours truly, you know, rock and roll 24/7 for the farmers, butchers, bakers, nurses, doctors, grocery store clerks, all involved in the production, distribution of food. Going to the mountain, LOVE, to the firefighters of North America. North Americans unite, and credit my surviving COVID. I'm going to be marking 5 years mid-February, early March. I had it for like a few weeks. It started about mid-February till about early March, and it was really sick. I was really sick. I thought I was going to die in many ways. I do say that. I did die during COVID, nothing that I will to go back to. Living for today, carpe diem, but I got HOPE, great hope, for tomorrow. Dragon versus Trump, challenging Donald Trump since 2018, when he first imposed tariffs on Canadian aluminum and steel, and on the Canadian-US border. Let's go, help support my dream, the dancing goddess in the Dragon Kingdom, which is fundamentally a call for the Democratic Republic of North America, a public-private partnership. Hey, public-private partnership, please, millionaires, billionaires, don't be so selfish, give some charity. And the NFL National Football League, NHL, National Hockey League, NBA, National Basketball Association, MLB. Please reduce the cost of the tickets by 44.9%. Turn your heads left and right when you cross the street, because you never know, some brakes might malfunction. The brakes, the accelerator, the citizen driver, although he's got to stop, you know. See, there's a big stop there. There's a big stop. You're supposed to stop, but you never know. Sometimes by mistake, the citizen driver might press the accelerator instead of the brake, and I got to salute my fellow citizen who is going for some exercising, jogging on a day like this. It's -11 last time I just checked, -11, so among the few, among the FEW, so I always love you when I see people working out, training, exercising. It has been, is, and will continue to be my medicine and therapy of choice, you know. something which I love, has been, is, and will be my medicine and therapy of choice, and encouraging all to work out, train, exercise, and working out, training, exercising has been, is, and will be my medicine and therapy of choice. I lost between 80 and 93 pounds. Created my own workout training program system parallel to my analysis and my conclusion that humanity is set again towards an international conflagration back in 2019 in October, November, and ever since then I've been on the fitness journey. Since 2019 I've been on the fitness journey, and before, since I came out of my depression in 2017, and in 2019 in October, November, I had concluded that humanity is again set towards an international conflagration. So, as a geopolitical independent theoretical analyst and theorist, independent geopolitical theoretical analyst and theorist, and as an ASFI with HFA, that is one of my main special interests. You know, people with Asperger's or neurodivergence like yours truly, we have special interests, and those special interests, special focused interests, also known as obsessive interests. Also, I do not use the word obsessive, but they're super focused, we're super in them. And just this morning I realized that I spent about almost 5 hours, and from the morning till the afternoon, just involved in geopolitical analysis, revision, and going back and forth to different elements, different news station outlets, left, right, and center, and across the world, and local Quebec, French Canadian here, Quebec and Canadian, North America, and throughout the world, and did an analysis and realized that I was so focused that I lose track of time, you know. And with geopolitics, I got the holy trinity of special interest, also known as obsessive interest, but I do not use the terminology, the appellation obsessive, because obsessive is for somebody who's not neurodivergent and neurotypical, and we are not, it's not a mental illness. Asperger's is just a neurodivergent mental condition which makes us predisposed to special interests, and we can be pretty intense when we're involved in those interests of choice, such as what I go marching is my workout, training, exercising, and my favorite sport is dancing. And my favorite fitness activity is dancing, always busting a dance. We've got some good choreography, and yours truly is also an artist, athlete, and philosopher. And the third one is rock and roll. So rock and roll 24/7. The study, the analysis of geopolitics, being an independent geopolitical theoretical analyst and theorist, and sports and fitness, who's now on the mountain going from Westmount to Mount Royal on the special Dragon versus Trump edition. I gotta go, you see. Those lights gotta give a salutation to the Hydro-Quebec workers of the past and the present for the future, because thanks to the electricity that is not polluting and is zero emission and friendly for the environment here from the hydroelectric dams. You know, I got it in my smartphone here, which is my work tool, my new work tool, which I'm putting as a YouTuber, you know, and all these lights which is here come from one of the combination of the dams, and our electricity goes to 5 or 6 states, all the way to Manhattan Island. The 20th, 1/5 of the electricity in Manhattan Island comes from Hydro-Quebec. So I just do it and imagine on all those transmission lines, power lines, how many labor, how many brains and muscle, and I call for the great North American census, great financial, economic, commercial audit, and parallel census to see the class fellow who are here in Canada, Quebec, North America join to create a common passport and a common currency, and my democratic Republican vision. I don't know about that 51st state, but this Quebec Canadian who was born in the USA 3 times. Once as a woman, I served as a United States. Twice was born a man, once a woman. You get that 50-50 now. You know, you get that gender X. Just like on the passports, there's that option, you know, being 50-50 androgynous. Yours truly, I served in the United States Army. Twice. 2 times. A rainbow dragon. Twice in past lives. Just read that George Patton Through a Glass Darkly. I served in the United States Armed Forces. And once I was born as a woman, and born right here on the island several times out in Montreal. And when I was born as a man in the United States post 1776, twice I served in the same United States Army in 2 different wars, and now we gotta get playing that defense, security, and service coast to coast only. Defense, security, service coast to coast only. Defense, security, and service coast to coast only. And the rock and roll song is Friends with Benefits Only. For this rainbow dragon philosopher asked me, let your legions, our family. Thanks for understanding that you see. Friends with benefits only. For this rainbow dragon that asked me, let your legions, that you understand, see. Friends with benefits only. For this rainbow dragon asked me, for our family, pledge your allegiance, see. That you understand me? Yeah. Gotta get that rock and roll, and saluting the firefighters, LOV, the butchers, the bakers, the nurses, the doctors, the grocery store clerks, all involved in the production, distribution of food, all involved in the production, distribution of food. You know, the truckers on the road. Gotta send some LOV. Turn my head left and right, and you see how deep it is, how high we are on the mountain, and now you can get a glimpse all the way down. It goes very up, and it's very steep. Goes down very steep because I'm on the mountain, Mount Royal Mountain Complex, and it's got 3 peaks right at the center, right between the east and the west of the island metropolis of 2.5 million people, big city, big island, big metropolis island, an island surrounded by a big river. And this is Westmount. There's Mount Royal proper, and of course Outremont. Those are the 3 peaks. South, not exactly in the center between the north and the south, slightly south, but exactly in the midst, in the center between the east and the west, but slightly south. You see from above, Montreal kind of looks like a hawk, H-A-W-K, or I guess any bird, hawk, eagle, crow, whatever the case may be, but it looks like a bird with spread wings from above. So you should look on the map, you know. So some other people see other things, but I guess that's a reflection, you know. I guess you can go into psychological dimension, which I know a little bit about psychology, but my kingdom, my realm, my domain is geopolitics, to the point, of course, that in 2019, November, I predicted that there's going to be an international conflagration, and so made, created, produced a workout training program system made, designed to go hand in hand with a World War III scenario. You heard that correct. I have been celebrating 5 years in the past, and concordantly, I created a workout training program system which is efficient, effective, and requires no equipment, and that's what it is with that. And I created a General War Integrated Total Body Training System, aka Dragon Army Workout, aka 300 Workout. A simple, effective workout training program system which requires no equipment and is not meant for aesthetics. But it does what it does. It increases general overall fitness. And I performed and successfully completed more than 372 sessions, and I do it on the daily, more than 372 sessions, and I'm always, I love, I'm joyous now, but financially stressed. But I got $3, I think it was a little bit new on the market, Canadian made, kind of like 425 grams, so for $3 you get good grams, kind of like a pie, a crust pie with a type of fudge in it. So I tried it the other day and it was good, and I bought one Monday and now I bought one again for the weekend, so I've got to be grateful for that, you know. So that's what it is, and gotta be grateful sometimes. Gratitude is great for mental health, and has been, is, and will be my mental health goal sometimes, you know, just realizing all the privilege of civilization, you know, the privilege of civilization. The civilization is a privilege. That was my thesis back in 2023, and being a pro-labor and love, universal revolutionary centrist, being a pro-labor and love, universal revolutionary centrist, being a pro-labor and love, universal revolutionary centrist, you know, that's where I gotta get going with the centrist. My centrism, revolutionary centrism, is tied hand in hand with my trinity of theories, though. The CIT, citizen integration theory, DRT, death fusion theory, which is a must, pressing emergency, and the democratic fusion theory for Quebec, Canada, and of course what I call the Great North American Civilizational Complex. The Great North American Civilizational Complex, the Great North American Civilizational Complex, of which my brothers and sisters, the United States, and even of course Mexico, Haiti, Cuba. Cuba's a paradox on a way of joining BRICS, which is quite of a paradox dilemma. Look at this beautiful tree. Beautiful tree with the lights on, that you see. Beautiful tree. Beautiful lights on it. Gotta swing it, sing it. Hey, and another one got some color in it. A beautiful tree. That's the January that you see. Hey, I really love colors like that, you know. Bright colors. They're kind of beautiful. They're beautiful. Eh? Just take a little second to admire. You can see those skyscrapers. The back there, that's far out. That's a few kilometers away, though. But now because we're on the mountain and there's Orion, the stars Orion stars, so that means that Scorpio is there. Scorpio's there. I can only see kind of the reddish Antares, which is, kind of connected with, when I say God. Also got a goddess. I created my survival to the goddess. I will to build on the Canadian-US border. LOV, big hugs to the construction workers, all North American construction workers, big rock and roll for you, LOVE. I will to build on the Canadian-US border. The Forgotten Goddess Temple, and the North American People's Imperial Coliseum, and the North American People's Imperial Coliseum, the North American People's Imperial Coliseum for the Dragonomy Sports Fitness, and the Forgotten Goddess Temple for the DGA Dancing Goddess Army. For the environment, for pleasure, for purpose. And the pyramid, scarlet, crimson and scarlet are shades of red. House of the Dragon, pyramid, house of the Dragon. Pyramid, house of the Dragon, pyramid. And still officially to change my surname because financially stressed, you gotta get that economic finance money. Money's to buy, sell, and still, of course, in my heart, after doing blood, sweat, and tears, and change the A of my surname into an O. Change my D of my surname into an O. Change my D of my surname into an O. Dragonomy motto is nobody's born a dragon, and we gotta get on the consequential, and we gotta get on the consequence, and for security, service, and defense only. Coast to coast, ocean to ocean. Geopolitically, of course, we have the North American civilizational complex, our geographical, by extension, geopolitical reality is that as Quebecers, Canadians, North Americans, we have our brothers and sisters in the USA. It's gotta get married, It's time to get rid of the border, create a joint passport and do a census and further integration, EU style. I don't know about that 51 state because would be definitely perhaps more states, but of course, I guess it's an invitation for a discussion. Although I would have voted Kamala Harris Biden, I would have voted and Kamala Biden. So at the end of the day, we're not enemies. We might disagree and oppose, but we're not enemies. We're not enemies. Of course, and that I'm glad that when Trump was asked if you're going to be using military force to invade Canada, without hesitation, he said no. Economic force, which is whole discussion force. We cannot base everything on force and strength. But anyways, if he would have said yes to the use of military force, I would have been in the woods trying to citizen defense protocols and call for the Operation Canadian Dracula. Call for the Operation Canadian Dracula. Anyways, I guess that's another story with that, but that's a rock and roll. We gotta fight Canadians, North Americans. We do have geopolitical realities which kind of makes us have the option, or not only option, if I may say, for first to unite security, economic wise, further integration of the North American complexes. We have seen that many other regions, nation states have solidified their economic, financial, military alliance, and in consequence, as North Americans, we are an emergent civilizational complex. As much as I, could disagree, and for 6 years now is going to be marking 7 years in spring when I started challenging Donald Trump to fight me on the Canadian-US border when he first imposed tariffs of 10% on Canadian aluminum and steel, and I have hundreds of workout videos with that somewhere online, and from online my work, and I gotta get my anonymous friend, thank you for the gift, buying me some of those gloves, red gloves, financing, I guess my only sponsored financier for for that event, that initiative, Dragon versus Trump, and started in 2018. And before that, I was more on the sidelines of politics. I was more on the sidelines of politics. You know, more on the sidelines of politics. But then I entered kind of the arena with that event because there's an alternative to tariffs, and furthermore we got the North American civilizational complex, and we can strengthen each other. Canadians, the North, because us, we're the true North, strong and free, but brothers and sisters, of course, here we're the true North, strong and free in Canada, but the USA is home of the brave, land of the free, so we both got the consequential free, FRE, in both our mottos, right? But we cannot only have that, bravery, freedom, and strength. We gotta add some some LOVE, some love, some rock and roll, and some understanding with the strength. Because as much as I understand peace through strength, to the consequences that I'm an independent geopolitical theoretical analyst and theorist who has predicted the international conflagration, or aka the World War III happening, unfolding now across the world back in 2019. As much as I understand that, I'm a Canadian North American, Canadian Quebecer, Canadian North American. As much as I can pronounce myself and study the ideologies, the philosophies of other nation states, civilizations, and geopolitical regions, my experiences here, Quebec, Canada, Montreal, North America, and my protocols, my dream is fundamentally for the North American civilizational complex. Sure, it can be extended beyond. Not a problem for world peace, but here we got the realities, the different mergers and different alliances, organizations that have formed and have expanded, such as BRICS, that we made potential enemies due to the involvement militarily, not just in a humanitarian manner, but in a military diplomatic manner. We made potential enemies of strong, powerful nation states and non-NATO aligned organizations, or non-NORAD. NORAD is the Canadian-US military alliance. Non-NORAD NATO aligned nation states or organizations and international, regional, geopolitical organizations. So keeping that fact in mind, we also got to work from there, because aside of me being androgynous, me being pansexual, me having Asperger's, the point is that when it comes to geopolitics, the study, the analysis of geopolitics, that's what I've been doing for years and years and years, to the point of obsession. Some might say obsessive, but it's not really an obsession, it's my special focus interest. And as the consequence, I could say that the realities of today's geopolitical environment requires Canadian, United States, Canada, USA integration to the fullest extent, to the fullest, most possible integration across all levels: security, diplomatic, political, social, cultural, was the North American complex. My brothers and sisters, as much as I'm a Quebecer Canadian and challenging Donald Trump, so you know, since 2018, as much as do disagree on certain things, security, yes, but it gotta come with liberty. Peace through strength. We cannot base everything on peace through strength. There has to be some LOV, some understanding. We cannot be only money, and the rich and affluent and the oligarchy, whatever terminology we want to give it. It has to be also the workers, the butchers, the bakers, the nurses, the firefighters, the doctors, those in the daycares who change some diapers, LOVE. I was saying a protocol for the Dragon Army or any armies, for any North American who's got to be, before you put on a uniform for any security force, you gotta do a changing of a diaper. In your daycare, you gotta change some diapers, gotta change some diapers if you don't have children of your own, so, to see who you're fighting for. So I'm just gonna drop some garbage here, because I wanna go to have some garbage that I wanna dispose of. Thank you, public workers. See, this is recycling and that's garbage. This is recycling and that's garbage. Actually, part of that one could have been recycled. See, half of this could actually be recycled. I'm a bit obsessed about recycling, but see, this one, because it's clean, it actually, because it's better if you put it in the recycling like the bottom, but you have to make sure, because this is the recycling, right? And that's the garbage. Thank you those public workers who pick up the recycling. Right? Mine is trash. Mine is just garbage because it's too dirty, so I can't recycle mine. But anyways, so back to what I was saying, and the consequence that the realities of today, the geopolitical realities due to the alliances and forms, is we have to integrate as much as we can and have and this is just the geopolitical realities. As much as I disagree with Trump, I would love to fight him in a boxing match for sure. Would love to fight him in a boxing match. Would love to fight him in a boxing match. Since 2018. Give some charity. Let's rebuild the North American inner urban cities, aka the North American ghettos, and sign executive the order to raise the minimum wage. Sign as an executive the order to raise the minimum wage and rebuild the North American inner cities, aka the ghettos, to rebuild the ghettos of North America, aka the North American urban cities, and sign an executive order to mass finance public healthcare, mass finance public healthcare. My dream is fundamentally a public-private partnership. Fundamentally, my dream is a call for a public-private partnership across the North American Collectif. As I go up my second home, the mountain, you can see Mount Royal there goes down. So now I'm Mount Royal proper. You know. So as I go up the top, you know, all the way to the top, always got to meditate. Anybody want to finance that I go up and down these stairs 300 times. Dragon vs. Strong special edition, and sending some love, love to the firefighters, to the butchers, the bakers, the nurses, the doctors, all those involved in the production and the distribution of food, you know, all those involved in the production and the distribution of food. See those skyscrapers, you start seeing how far we are. And this is the mountain where in the past days, of course, I put and I pressed, of course, showed it how far we are, how far off, you know, from miles and miles and miles and miles away, and miles and miles and miles away, you know. As I said, now, yours truly on the ascension, the mountain. I do not recommend that you take some of those roads which are in the wilderness, you know. Here we are in the wilderness, you know. So it's something which you gotta meditate. You gotta meditate, you know, yourself, you know. But you can see all the gotta see all the lights. So as I say concordantly, the reality is that we must unite as much as possible. Integration, you know. That's what we gotta be doing as much as we can, you know. I feel good. Always when I come here, got a little bit of a, you know, like, feel like a peace, harmony, with a balance, understanding in many ways. Understanding in many ways. Mother Nature, my mountain is not just my second home. It's not just my second home, but it is not just mine. It's yours. It's ours. It's collective. It's public. And my dream, the dancing goddess in the Dragon Kingdom, is fundamentally a call, you know, for a public-private partnership. And see all the lights. Thank you from Hydro-Quebec, you know, who build the dams and the clean zero pollution emission. And see, we're gonna start to see some lights here. But nonetheless, yeah, I'm in a harmony, kind of peaceful, but it's kind of also breaking the illusions, you know. the illusions when I come here on the mountain. I kind of converse with the mountain and the forest and the flora and the fauna, with nature, Mother Nature, Goddess, G-O-D-D-E-S-S, 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 and I credit me surviving COVID to the Goddess. I credit me surviving COVID to the Goddess. I credit me surviving COVID to the Goddess. Surviving being suicidal, being depressed, being suicidal, being depressed, and being suicidal and being depressed. I credit me being suicidal, me being depressed, and I credit yours truly, me being suicidal, me being depressed. I also credit my surviving being surprise attacked in Montreal Metro and before several times, and had my own Cillian Pirate episode and was attacked, fell, hit my head and dislocated my right arm. Went to the hospital, was replaced. Well, we were put back. It was a severe dislocation and was put on some meds, and I was kind of like in the coma, like a few days. So I had my own Cillian Pirate episode in my past before I moved from a very moldy under place. I had like flashes of trauma, some unspeakable things, but here I am, joyous on the mountain, joyous on the mountain, joyous. Financially stressed, but joyous. Financially stressed, but joyous. Financially stressed, but joyous, Grateful, thankful, my rent's paid, and I saw somebody kissing before when I started being on the march for hours, but I saw a couple, just before, couples, couples, and they kissed, and that gives me some joy, and I think I'm about to see somebody kiss also there, Don't waste your time, following some fool's order, and that's also worth fighting for, somebody kissing or free, to make out love and with consent, hug like you never hugged before. And I saw a couple kissing before, just before I got going, on the march. It was in front of the store, so that's why I gotta get doing, and that's why we gotta get doing with that, So that's why we gotta get doing, so. So there we go. We're gonna enter the darkness. Actually, now we're gonna go on the main road, because we rarely go on the main road, on the main road. That's what we gotta get doing, so that's what we gotta get doing with that, so yeah. I love when I go here and I get here on the mountain. Anyways, so that's what we gotta get doing with that. That's what we gotta get doing, so that's what we gotta get doing. So it's always on the joys, you know, when we come here and get that beautiful star. You got that beautiful skating rink right here, you know. You got that beautiful skating rink, you know. There's the Orion. So grateful, thankful that I got some of those stars. Can't count them there by the trillions, and with trillions of kisses I lay the foundations for the dancing goddess and the dragon kingdom. With trillions of kisses, you know, lay the foundations of the dancing goddess and the dragon kingdom, you know. Lay the foundations with the dancing goddess and the dragon kingdom. Donc, c'est bon? Oh yeah, gotta get some of those skating there, and gotta get some of those skates and some of that exercise. You know, that's what we got. You know, so that's how we gotta get it. See, when I come here into those rock and roll trances, so Dragon versus Trump, heads built together, blah blah blah, on the Canadian-U.S. border, the North American People's Imperial Coliseum, the Forgotten Goddess Temple, Forgotten Goddess Temple, the Forgotten Goddess Temple. That's what we need building. The Forgotten Goddess Temple, the Crimson Scarlet, House of the Dragon, House of the Dragon, House of the Dragon, the Pyramid. Pyramid, the House of the Dragon, House of the Dragon, the Pyramid, you know. That's what we need building. There's Scarlet Crimson and red, the Scarlet Crimson, you know, the Pyramid, House of the Dragon, and you know, I gotta balance that individual and the collective. Now I'm in the public, so I got added responsibilities, duties, and obligations. I always love when I see people working out. Congratulations to those who came with the ski. Do some skiing, do some patinage, do some skating, do some physical activity is always good for the mental health. Having lost between 80 and 93 pounds, I created an efficient, effective workout training program system back in 2019, and I could say I live with a hypervigilance myself, but I play only that defense, you know. I do not like violence, but I play with that hypervigilance because of my own lived survived trauma and surprise attack and plenty of scars on the body and on my androgynous clit, androgynous genitals. You get that 50-50 rainbow dragon kisses I got, and sometimes you hear, you know, and you see those trees, you gotta get, there's less illusions, you know, in the paradox, you know, although there's part of civilization and nature here, there's less illusions, you know, less illusions here on the mountain, you know, as I go in the dark, and I know this mountain from this life and another life, and sometimes I get flashes and mystic revelations of past lives, past reincarnations. As a mystic telling my buried me up, Papa Crowley, turning me up in Hampton, New Jersey, turning me up in here on Mount Royal, and turning me up in the city of the pyramids, Cairo, you know. That's what we gotta get doing, and that's what we gotta get on the go, you know. So that's what we gotta get, that exercise, which is always good, and sometimes you just gotta start your fitness journey today. So here, living in a concordium, you know, in a harmony with nature, not as a conqueror or something to dominate nature, but as in harmony, acknowledging the higher power, you know, that I'm just sometimes a piece of dust. Those trees, these trees, mighty trees around me, rocks of the mountain, the trees are 7 times my size, and you know, gotta see my own insignificance, you know. Sometimes a piece of dust who lusts, who's survive being depressed, survive being suicidal, financially stressed, but who loves coming here my second half, and I'm happy, joyous, because I saw a couple kissing. It's like 3 times, a little bit of just before, and of course I say, hey, that's worth fighting for, that's worth defending, carrying a weapon for, that's worth being armed, and so I don't want to do no business with mercs. I don't want to do no business with mercs. I don't want to do no business with mercs, no business with mercs. No business with mercs, because I have nothing to do with that. I don't want nothing to do with that. And that's what it is with that. And that's what it is, so it is what it is. And sometimes we just gotta be grateful, carpe diem it every day. Since I died of COVID, I really thought that was it for me. I'm gonna be marking 5 years, I'm gonna be marking 5 years soon, so I'm gonna be marking 5 years. I'm marking 5 years, and that's what it is, so that's what it is with that. And that's what I'm gonna get doing with that, That's what it is with that, so something which I gotta be meditating about, as we go on the LOV, so always gives me some hope of not looking, myself, and just friends with benefits only, pledge your allegiance, friends with benefits only, friends with benefits only, pledge your allegiance, and that's what it is with that, and sing some of that rock and roll, it's because the DRT, the debt fusion theory, for the creation of the you, so that's what it is, so it is with that, hot. Anyways, I'm gonna the DRT. Actually, I'm gonna wait after we reach the top. We're at the top, but I meant to see the city, I'm gonna go get it on the go, and get it on the go, so. Here we go. Ready for the rock on the road. For the city, for the go. For the city, for the go. For the kisses for the dough. On the rock and roll we go. On the go with the flags, we gotta get it for the stars. Butchers and the bakers and the nurses that you see. Hey, Hey, look at the lights. That's be lights up in. We made it to the top. Of the mountain on the block. You know the flags we gotta add. Some stars in the dragon. Rainbow dragon rock and roll. I gotta kiss it long for the floor. Who dancing? Who's on the score? Got a boogie on the do. Got a boogie on the you. Got a boogie on the seasons. This is the winter that you see. For the know you sow in harmony. For the X and Y and Z. For the X and Y and lead. For the tripping, for the bakes. For the nurses, for the doctors. For the XYZ on the XYZ. For those firefighters. Gotta kiss and go and do. Gotta kiss and go and you. That's the mantra you know we do. For the butchers, for the bakers, for the train conductors. Gotta sing it for the firefighters, LOV. You know that's the rock and roll. On the road, we made it to the top. Already rocking the heart, satellites in the sky. You know we see the lights of the skyscrapers. That you know we see it. On the mountain that you be at. Look at the beautiful city, you gotta live it. Live the city, Montreal, the hockey's be. Belvedere, headquarters of the dancing goddess in the Dragon Kingdom. That you see is rock and roll, bilingual cause you know. For the X and Y and Z, that you know we are, I'm the sled, sliding, I'm surrounded by a river. Montreal, you know we do it, 24/7 on the island. We gonna kiss it, we gonna make it, we gonna see the stars. Up above, those the lights. So you can see, that's the harmony, the pyramid, that's the favorite that you see. Skyscraper, that's the pyramid of the skyscraper. That's my favorite, that you see, the pyramid of the city. Oh, the hawk, Montreal, you know, 24/7 never stops. The butchers, the bakers, the nurses, the truckers, the firefighters. LOV for the doctors, LOV for the truckers, LOV for those flipping some of those burgers. Hey, for the workers, for the docks, on the dock, on the clock, for the warehouse worker that they do. And you know we see you, hey, somebody got a kissing a little bit extra double for the lovers that they do on the Montreal. You know we sing it, Rainbow Dragon Roll, you know we do it. Hey, that's a little bit of hope, man. Saw somebody kissing, give me some hope for the free world. Hope for the free world, man. Let's hope for the free world. So somebody kiss today in the free world. Somebody kiss today in the free world. Somebody kiss today in the free world. I ain't got no money for the guitar. Send your Marines. I'm gonna leave them with some scars. Up on the mountain. I ain't afraid of you, the Trump. Just cause you know we ain't to sing it in the true north, strong and free. I gotta see it to believe it. Better make that marriage purple. On the road and on the go. For the sled up in you know. Saw somebody kissing. There's some hope in the free world. Rainbow Dragon rock and roll farmers, butchers, bakers, nurses strike their ass up in forever. Hey! Up in the mountain, gotta see it. For you know up and believe it. For you know up in the miss it. For you know up in the true north, strong and free. Gotta get some LOV. Gotta give me some of those. Hydration as I go. Gotta get me hydration. Hey, imagine that's the nation. For the builders, for the butchers, for those construction workers that over there. Gotta sing it for you know. Gotta sing it for you go. Gotta sing it for the rock and the roll. For the no. Oh, boy, it's closed. That's okay, I got $1 for some coffee, yo. Butchers, bakers, nurses, doctor with Acte. Fame, don't get a heart attack. That's, you know, up in the go. For the rainbow rock and roll. Up in the free world. Up in there, you know, mountains. Up in there, you know, a mountain. Mountain, that's the sled. Black and white, that's what I said. With the rainbow kiss it, make up. That's the melody for those. They call it that twerker. On my face for that world peace. I just said we know the streets. Gotta give it for the love. For the butchers, that's we shove. You know that you see the lights. For that's another sight. That's that written on the bricks. That you know we kiss. Kiss and make it. Kiss and shake it. Booty play it. Booty say it. Black and white and rainbow for my ho-ho-ho-ho-mos. Black and white and rainbow for my ho-ho-ho-ho-mos. Black and white and rainbow for the straight and white and black and white, all the homos that you singing freestyle as the rainbow dragon. You see the stars count them. Gotta see up in the mountain. Hey, Captain, sing me a song. For the love birds, for the love nights, for the black and white and rainbow, for the free. F-R-E-E, it ain't always that easy. I gotta try, give it a try again. I done failed up again. That you know I say again. Farmers, hey, gotta eat up in the breed free. Gotta butcher by the butcher. Gotta get satellites up in the sky, you know technology gotta free. Ain't be so selfish, Wall Street. Give some charity up and believe. Builders, construction workers on the steel toes with the cranes up. Build me some more skyscrapers. Gotta give it for the rock. Gotta give it for the talk. I don't know where we at. Way up in the dark. Ain't nobody on the clock. Gotta feel the weapons art. Singing out the song of somebody kiss me not farter, Crowley, Papa, Alistair. What you doing being in New Jersey ashes? There's the rainbow dragon gotta be ashes. Rebirth for some squashes, squatted. Woo. I entered rock and roll trances, but now I gotta discuss the DRT theory, debt refusion theory. Since I'm here at the top of the mountain, and paradoxically my DRT theory is a geopolitical theoretical clandestine theorist, it is the only solution. The only solution at this point in time. The only solution at this point in time. The only solution at this point in time, you know, for the creation of a new currency across the North American civilizational complex. Why do I make this statement? Such a pronouncement. Such as independent ISP. Artist, athlete, philosopher, geopolitical theoretical clandestine theorist, and mystic makes from the mountain here atop my second home, Mount Royal, that the DRT theory, debt refusion theory, is the only solution, or something similar, parallel, very similar to my DRT theory, which translates as the D for debt, R for refusion, T theory is a financial theory. My DRT theory includes monetary integration theory, which is exactly the financial theory which was implemented in the European Union. As you see those lights, this is Mount Royal. From Mount Royal, we can see those lights across Montreal, Hawk Island that you see down there. You see how high up the mountain we are. Closest to the highest peak soon. We're even going a bit higher now. We're actually the top of the Belvedere Conjurer, where we're here, the headquarters of the Dancing Goddess in the Dragon Kingdom. My DRT theory is the only or something similar the solution for the public finances and much of many citizens, not just in Canada but USA, only joint financial situation. So due to the fact that in 2024, servicing the interest, paying the interest on the Canadian debt, public debt was 46.5 billion. 46.5 billion, 46.5 billion, 46.5 billion, 46.5 billion, 46.5 billion, 46.5 billion, 46.5 billion. A billion has 1,000 million. So in 2020, 2021, the fiscal year, it was 20.3 billion. 20.3 billion, 20.3 billion, 20.3 billion, 20.3 billion. That's a billion has 9 zeros, that's 1,000 million. So 20.3 billion is 20,000 million. 20.3 billion times 2 is 40.6. Is 40.6. 40.6. 20.3 times 2, that's 40.6. So now it more than doubled due to COVID to 46.5. 46.5. 46.5 to 46.5. So that is the amount of debt paid on the public debt. Just the debt servicing, aka the interest we pay on the public debt of Canada. So it more than doubled. Now imagine on an individual financial level as a citizen consumer that your debt or my debt servicing, aka the interest that me or you or somebody else would have paid in 2020, 2021, let's say would have paid, or I would have paid 156. I don't have credit cards myself, I have a credit line, and I showed you yesterday in other videos that I'm $10,000 in debt. I pay 11% interest, annual interest. So it's not that bad. Not that bad. 11%. Credit line. I do not have credit cards. But the rest I'm in the red. But rent's paid, electricity bills paid, got food and coffee, and a $3 425 gram pie. Canadian made pie in my backpack. So imagine that as an individual citizen, you would have paid $156. And 3 years later, would have had to double the interest that you paid or I paid or somebody, the citizen consumer pays from 156 to 333. So if that's the case, obviously, if the salary doesn't double in 3 years, it just increases by 5, 10, 10%, 15, maybe 3%, 15% max. How many salaries you know that have doubled in 3 years? Not many. Very few, if any at all. A few have made some millions, yes. Vice rays, CEOs, annual salaries, yeah. But mostly stayed increased with bonuses, but it's very rare that the salary doubles, right? But in this case, paying the interest, the debt servicing, aka the interest paid on the public debt, has more than doubled in 3 years. While the GDP of Canada, 2% increase, 1%, 3%. The GDP economy of Canada has not doubled in 3 years. In 3 years. While the debt servicing, the interest paid on the public debt has doubled. So you realize, just like on an individual basis, you're going to have to cut, reduce the costs. On an individual consumer basis, we'll have to cut what? The bacon, the cheese, maybe the wine, cut the Netflix, cut the Disney. Cut, reduce the budget. Electricity, you have to pay it. I always pay rent, electricity first, always pay rent, electricity first, always rent, electricity first. You'd have to cut that budget. Had to cut.